Good morning, Facebook family. I have a very important question to ask you this morning. Where are you coming from and where are you going? I want to talk to you a little bit about the names of our God. The name of our God this morning is Jehovah El Roi, the God who sees me. He is a God who sees you where you're coming from. He knows where you are now and he knows where you're going. And this name was revealed to Hagar, the bondservant of Abraham and Sarah, who bore the son Ishmael for Abraham. And we all know the story that Abraham and Sarah were given the promise of God. And God told Abraham that if he stepped out by faith, if he left his past behind, if he stepped out and did what God told him, that he will become the father of many nations. There's promises that God has for us that can only be released when we step out by faith. And so Abraham had stepped out and a son was promised to him and Sarah, but years and years were passing by and nothing was happening. They were getting old. They were getting probably just feeble and just feeling a little, under the weather most of the time. I don't know what to say, but they were not producing any children. And so Sarah decided that she was going to ask her bondservant, Hagar, who was an Egyptian servant, to go to her husband Abraham and unite with him to produce a son. But when Hagar actually did that and she became pregnant, she became expectant. Now you could actually see that this woman was pregnant. That's what the Bible said. Sarah was not excited about it. She was very unhappy, and she started to become agitated and ill-treat this woman and treat her so bad that Hagar decided to run away into the wilderness. Now, if you're in a state of pregnancy where you need food, you need shelter, you need rest, and you decide to run into the wilderness, you've got to know that where you're coming from is not good. And so the angel of the Lord met her by the well Bir Lahai Roi. It's the well of the living one who sees me. And he confronted her. He said, Hagar, where are you coming from and where are you going? And poor Hagar could not answer, where am I going? But she said, I'm coming from my boss, my mistress, who is ill-treating me. She is treating me like a rag doll, and I had to get away from her. And the angel of the Lord stopped her, and it was there that he released the promise into her life. Now, many of us don't believe that angels are real, but Psalms 103:5 said, bless the Lord, all ye angels that excel in his strength. The angels of God obey the word, and they're constantly on the move. Psalms 91 says, the angels of the Lord will bear you up in their arms, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Another word says, the angels of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivered them. So they've taken up residence round about where you are if you fear the Lord, and they will deliver you out of trouble. And so he, meaning the angel of the Lord, met the servant Hagar at this well, the well of living water, and said to her, stop. God has something for you, and you're going to have a son, and you're going to name him Ishmael. And the name of Ishmael is the Lord has seen thine affliction. God sees you where you are. I don't care where you are in the story. I don't care what's going on. God sees you. And so he told Hagar that she was going to receive the promise of a son, and that this son was going to be prosperous. His seed was going to multiply into an uncountable number, is what the Bible says, and that he was going to dwell in a land amongst his brethren. And so what that says to me is that he was going to possess some land. He was going to have some wealth in his life. Your son is going to be blessed too, honey. You're going to get double for your little trouble over here that Sarah done got you involved into. Because she got her involved in something that really God had not purposed that from the beginning. And so I want to just say to you this morning that God sees who you are. He sees what you're going through. Hebrews 4:15 says, we have not a high priest who can be touched with the feelings of our own infirmities. God was tempted at all points. They said he was tempted at all points and yet without sin. We can read between the line and know that he's had many experiences in when he was in the fleshly body, when he was in the body, when he came as Jesus. The Bible said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. So when he dwelt in that fleshly body and dwelt among us, he experienced many things, and he knows how you feel. He understands what you're going through. But this morning, I want to let you know, he doesn't only understand what you're going through, he sees. He acknowledges it, and he's going to take action on your behalf. Just like when Hannah prayed for a son and she couldn't conceive. Hannah was the mother of the major prophet Samuel, and the Bible said the Lord heard her prayer and remembered Hannah. When God remembers you, he takes action on your part. He sees you today. I want you to be comforted. I want you to rest in that. I want you to feed on that when you feel a little discouraged today, that God sees you and he's going to help you out of that situation. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day.